With us now is Julia Solo, and I'm also glad that Dana is here. And we're going to be talking about all things home care, as well as legislation that is going to be helping, hopefully, all healthcare workers. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Julia. So, time is of the essence because big things are happening. According to Dana, who works in this field, what's happening? Can you fill us in?
Yes. So to give the big picture, there is a huge shortage of home care workers in New York State and across the country. This is uh, the fastest growing workforce in the country and even all over the world because our population is aging rapidly. And nobody wants to end up in a nursing home. Most people want to stay in their homes and communities. And so we face tremendous challenges in meeting the demand for home care, in large part because this is one of the most undervalued workforces in our state. It is a 90% women. It is 80% people of color and 80% immigrant workforce. Right now, home care workers in most parts of the state make at or just above minimum wage. They don't get paid sick leave, not even paid um, no paid time off. They don't get mileage reimbursement or support with transportation. There's almost no benefits. So a movement is really coming together, and we call it the caring majority. It's a movement of seniors and people with disabilities and family caregivers and home care workers who all have a major stake in addressing the real injustice within our long term care system and how uh, the people who need care are struggling to get the care that they need to stay in their homes. And then the people who provide care, um, are struggling to buy groceries and sustain their own families. And so this movement, the New York Caring Majority, um, has put forward legislation in New York State called Fair Pay for Home Care. This would increase wages for home care workers to 150% of the highest minimum wage in every part of New York State. And what this means, what would this mean? This is for uh, beginning in July of this year, the highest minimum wage in New York State is going to be 15 an hour. And so we're saying home care workers deserve at least 22.50 an hour. This is emotional work. This is physical work. This is, home care workers they're social workers, they're chefs, they're drivers, they play so many, they're nurses, right? They play so many different roles. We have to start valuing this labor.
So we're having a discussion right now with Julia Solo and Dana Arnone. And Dana, you had just heard about the idea of raising the minimum wage. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, as a business owner, I go back and forth because I see both sides. But as a registered nurse and a business owner, it has to go up because
Okay.
we need to raise the level of the profession. Through the years, I think home health care has not gotten the recognition that it has deserved. I've been fighting this fight alone for many, many years, so much that I actually had my agency become a union agency. That was something that I believed in, so that they can get the PTO, they can get their sick time, they can have a pension plan, they can have all the things that they deserve because this is a profession. It's not, a job to me. So I agree with the raising of their salary. It has to be. I don't think someone should come into the career of home health care making the same amount of money as someone that works at Burger King, although that's fine, but it's not the same. And, for Julia's cause and my cause, we both have the same end result in mind. We want a better home health care, and we want to raise the level of the profession. And one of them, probably the better ways to do it is to raise their pay.
So, Julia, I heard that you are a tireless advocate for this. What are some things on the daily that you put forth in order to make a difference, and why? What is your why? Why are you doing this?
Thank you. So on the daily, I would say I'm building relationships and, getting more people plugged into this fight. I'm really was really lucky to be able to connect with Dana and the team that she's part of. That's what I do. My job is to try to multiply myself as much as possible. So, we have this massive army of called the Caring Majority Army that's pushing for wage increases for home care workers. That's pushing for recognition of this incredibly essential yet under recognized workforce. And I really see us as a lobbying force. And that, my part of my job is helping people direct their anger about this issue in a constructive way, uh, engaging people with their elected officials, engaging people in demonstrations and direct actions. Dana joined us at a protest outside the governor's mansion just a couple of weeks ago. And so that's a bit about me and then about what I do, but my why, I mean, I think all of us have a care story that somehow connects us to the need for home care. I live with my elders. I don't want them to end up in a nursing home. And I know that I'm going to need help. Right now, it's fine. Everybody's healthy. It's good. But I know that eventually I'm going to need support. I'm going to need paid caregivers to help me. Because I'm surrounded by my elders in many ways. I live with my elders, but also my parents live down the road. My other aunt and uncle lives down the road, and I'm the only young person in the area. And so, but uh, through this work, I've come to build relationships with so many home care workers and people who need this support. And so now my stake is also in their futures, because I've come to really care about a lot of people whose lives are really, this is life and death for them, especially for the people who need that care in the home. So that is my why.
I like your why. That's a very good why. And you're right. Most people that choose a profession, there's like an underlying story of something that's touched them along the way that makes them decide to step up. Even when we're kids and we decide to join the student council or whatever we do in our youth, I feel that it's an opportunity for us to use our voices, to make a difference. And that's one of the things we have. We have time, we have talent, or we have treasure. So somebody can get behind something with their money or their time, right? Or their talent. And so obviously you have some skills that you've decided to hone in and put it towards this, very much like Dana, right? Dana, who's an RN, and she's devoted her entire life to this type of community. So congratulations really to both of you for taking a step forward.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Julia, I just want to just address, so the bill that you're talking about that they're voting on is to you one of the most important things that's going on in the legislation today. So what do you want to say to the legislators, and how do you want to get that last push for that vote out there so that people can hear you one last time?
Yeah, so we need fair pay for home care. We need to include that in the final budget. Um, and I am calling on Assembly Speaker Hasty and Governor Cuomo in particular to follow the lead of our Senate leadership, Majority Leader Stuart Cousins, who has been really fighting for this. You can save millions of lives if you get behind fair pay for home care. We have seen the devastation of COVID-19 in our nursing homes, with over 15,000 lost in our nursing homes. Home is the safest place to be. It's where people want to be. You could save millions of lives by including fair pay for home care in the budget. That's what I want to say to them.
And you can also save millions of dollars by giving consistent, good home care. That's the side that I always look at. By minimizing the rehospitalization rate of somebody, by giving them good, consistent care, it will save the state of New York millions and millions of dollars. So to me, it's not only, yes, it's raising their pay, it's giving good, a decent wage. It's not even asking for a lot of money. It's giving a decent wage to somebody. And also you're going to save it on the other side, because you're going to really start to keep people home. And that's something that we focus on at All Things Homecare, as well as the education side of things, and really how to minimize that rehospitalization by giving them the aid services that they need and they deserve. So good job, Julia.
Thank you, Julia, very much. Thank you for joining us. We know that you have a lot going on today, a lot of interviews, but continue the great fight that you're doing. And even after this goes through, I'm sure that there's so much more to do. So we'll make sure that people reach out to you if they're interested in helping in some way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Julia.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.